There's that lovely voice. Hi, guys. Okay, so for the sake of the recording, just admitting a few more people now. So for the sake of the recording, just want to introduce myself for those of you that maybe don't know who I am. My name's Cressy and I am a senior leader with Neal's Yard Remedies. I've been a leader with the company for, oh gosh, I've been with the company 9 years and I've been a leader for 8. And I'm also a mum of 4. I have 2 older children from my first marriage. They are 10 and 12. And I have a 2-year-old, a very busy 2-year-old, and a 7-month-old, nearly 8-month-old actually, baby. With my partner Matt, and I do lots of training, as many of you will know, and the mother and baby training is something that I have been asked about quite a lot on and off over the years, and I have done mother and baby training before, but this is the first time it's been recorded. And then some of you may have seen that in the current seasonal guide, which is the spring seasonal guide 2022, actually myself and my youngest India are featured. You see us there with the pot of baby balm. And since this guide came out, I have actually been inundated with requests to do some more baby training. So we put this together and I thought it would be really nice to co-host tonight with a friend of mine, Katherine, a lovely lady in my team. I'm going to hand you over to Katherine in a moment so that she can introduce herself. But Katherine is a very modest lady and she will not sing her praises like I will. She is an absolute guru on all things baby related. She is a paediatric nurse. She runs a fantastic company called Baby Steps, and I'd highly recommend that you check her out on Instagram or Facebook. Actually, Katherine, do you want to pop your socials into the chat?
I've put it all into the chat, so it's there for everybody.
Yeah, lovely. And a bit later I'll put my own in as well, just in case anyone wanted to follow me on Instagram as well. So for baby sort of related content. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Katherine so that she can introduce herself, and then we'll make a start in talking about the products.
Thank you so much. I'm really, really excited about doing this training this evening. The mother and baby range was actually one of the reasons why I joined NYRO, which is 3.5 years ago now, to use the mother and baby range in my work, as well as knowing that I'd enjoy the 25% for shopping and things, and it's definitely something that I've been able to weave into my work. So my background is that I am, as Cressy said, a registered paediatric nurse. I've been in the NHS 27 years this year. I'm not quite sure how that's possible, but 27 years. I trained and worked at Great Ormond Street Hospital, and then I've been in a paediatric A&E department in London for the last 22 years. I just do ad hoc shifts now, but I have remained in the NHS all that time. I'm also registered as a health visitor. I qualified as a health visitor about 17 years ago. And I am also a certified infant massage instructor as well. So the work that I do now is with Baby Steps. I started Baby Steps 16 years ago, and I run courses for new parents just to try and offer as much reassurance and confidence as possible and support. So I do first aid, weaning, baby massage, which lends itself perfectly to Neal's Yard. And I also do lovely relaxation and pamper events also with Neal's Yard Remedies. And I ran the business for 13 years in London, and then 3 years ago we moved from London to Hampshire, and I have this lovely space here where I can run courses. So in London I always used to go to people's houses to do the courses, whereas here I do have this lovely space. If any of you are remotely near me, please do get in touch, because it would be lovely to be able to work with you, and I always appreciate anyone kind of spreading the word about what I'm doing, because with the pandemic I had to kind of pivot online, and I really am, you know, trying to build things up here, and I also am looking to go back to doing rather than just Zoom courses, actually offering a full online service as well to reach more parents. But yeah, my work is very much about supporting parents with all the highs and lows of parenthood, and Neal's Yard has really, really worked perfectly. It's definitely one of the best decisions that I've ever made joining the company, and it's certainly one of my happy places. All the lovely people that I've met, and I love the products, and it's really nice to be able to have them here for parents to see. But when we chat through the products, I can explain how they're, you know, there's very easy ways that you can kind of explain them to parents, which will mean they'll be keen to give them a try. that okay? Yeah.
I muted myself. Absolutely, that was brilliant. Thank you so much, Catherine. As I say, guys, do check out Catherine's socials. She is brilliant. And from a personal point of view, even though I have 4 children, I have leaned on Catherine fairly recently, and she has been helping me a little bit with some weaning advice for my youngest. Although I'd done it 3 times before, weaning is not something I've ever enjoyed, and Catherine really sort of helped give me a bit of confidence with that. We had a virtual meeting, because we're not close to each other geographically, sadly, and also during lockdown I attended a virtual first aid course, baby first aid course with Catherine. I had done a first aid course years ago when I was pregnant with my eldest, but of course, you know, I just wanted to brush up after having my my 2 what I call bonus babies, because I wasn't planning on having 4 children, I have to say. And Catherine's been amazing. So even though you ladies that are on here tonight, you might not have young children yourself, you might have customers, you might have friends, clients, etc., that do, or they might expectant mums, etc. So Catherine is a fantastic person to follow on social media, and you know, as someone to sort of remember, as it were. Right.
So one last thing, I should actually really importantly mention that I am actually a mum myself.
Yes.
It's the time of the day when I'm trying to remember everything. So I've got Isabella.
That's only the most important bit.
It really is. I should have said first. Isabella, who's 12, and William, who's just turned 10. So certainly having my own kids, like everything, has lent itself so much to my work, but I didn't actually use the products when they were little. So it's great Cressy's got that recent experience.
Okay, it was interesting actually that you said that the mother and baby range, or the baby range in particular, was one of the things that first drew you to Neal's Yard Remedies, because actually that's something that I wanted to touch on. And I thought I'd start by saying that although the mother and baby ranges are fairly sort of unsung, really, it's not a topic that, you know, when you think of the wild rose training, the frankincense training that we do, you know, all the other things that we talk about on a regular basis, I think that the actual mother and baby ranges are probably some of the least talked about ranges, along possibly with the men's range. Yet the baby range in particular is often what I call the gateway of people finding Neal's Yard. The amount of customers I've got, or I'm actually a beauty therapist, so clients as well, that have found Neal's Yard through either being pregnant, maybe they were gifted something in the mother's range, or they were gifted a baby product, or they were searching for some really natural organic baby products and stumbled upon us, and that's how they found us as a company. And then through the baby range they went on and tried the skincare, etc., for themselves, and they've stayed. I also have a lot of people in my team. I'm fortunate enough to have quite a large downline now, and I can tell you there's a lot of people in my downline who have joined because they found us through the baby range. So not only have I got customers and clients, as I said, but I've also got team members who fundamentally came to Neal's Yard Remedies through this range. So I just sort of wanted to mention that, because I would say probably more than any other range, this is a bit of a gateway range for people. Like I say, I have done this training before, so I'm sort of referring to my notes here. The product formulations haven't changed since I last did this training. So if you see me looking down, I'm just sort of referring to my notes. I want to make sure that I'm giving you as much information as possible. I'm going to talk about each product individually, one after the other, and then I'm going to refer to Catherine if Catherine has anything to add. You know, Catherine works with groups of mums all the time through baby steps. So Catherine actually sells a lot of these products, so she might have things to add that maybe I don't. Equally, I actually have 2 little ones right now in nappies, so I'm sort of, you know, an active mum with young children that I'm actually physically using these products, and I do actually have my basket of products here with me, and these are not display products. These are products that I use on Josh and Indy daily. So yeah, so I'll make a start, but I just sort of wanted to say, first of all, as with all the products in the Neal's Yard Remedies company, they are certified organic, and of course our products are certified by the Soil Association. Organic is a bit of a trendy word that's bandied around a lot, but actually our products are certified organic, and as I say, by the Soil Association. We were actually the first company that the Soil Association ever certified back in 1991. 1991, I believe it was 1991, 1992, that kind of time. So we were the first company, and now of course they certify, oh gosh, hundreds of companies. And it's just sort of nice to know that we are certified. All of the products are suitable from birth. That is something that to note. Some people do ask me that question, you know, can they use these products from birth? The answer is yes. However, as a bit of a caveat, we generally say that to use on babies that are 6 pounds 10 ounces or over. Now that's quite specific, I know, but that is generally, you know, what we say, what the company says. I don't think there's any danger in using the products on babies that are smaller than 6 pounds 10 ounces. And I'm sorry, I only know that in I think it's very roughly 3 kilograms. I'm not great with that. I tend to work with old money when it comes to babies' weights. I don't think there's any danger in using it on smaller babies, but obviously we have to be careful, particularly if you're starting to think about premature babies, etc., etc. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a paediatric nurse, nothing like that. So I would just say go with the company guidelines. So they are all suitable from birth, but no smaller than about 6 pounds 10. All my babies were absolute whoppers, so I certainly didn't have that problem at all. As you would expect, from Neal's Yard Remedies products, there is no synthetic fragrances at all in any of our products. Some are fragrance free. I'll come to that as we go through them. And the ones that are fragranced with very natural, calming essential oils that are safe for use on tiny babies. Okay, obviously there's no artificial color in any of it, like there isn't in any of our products. No GM ingredients, no parabens, no mineral oil, nothing nasty at all. So you can really reassure your clients and your mums and expectant mums that there's no nasties at all in any of our products or in any of the ingredients that go into any of our products. Of course, we are completely cruelty free as well, as you know. Okay, so in 2019, which I appreciate was a couple of years ago now, but because of the pandemic, some of the awards haven't happened since 2019. But in 2019, when the Mother and Baby Awards, I believe, were last done, we won Best Beauty, Best Baby Brand, which was really nice. And that was quite a big thing for us, you know, obviously winning Best Baby Brand in the Mother and Baby Awards. And I'm hoping, I don't know for sure, but I'm hoping that they do the Baby Awards again this year. Now we're sort of easing out of the pandemic. But also, not only did we win Best Baby Brand that year, we also won a couple of other awards. We got an award for our baby balm, which I'm going to come to, which is a fantastic product. We got an award for our baby bath and shampoo. And we also got an award for our mother's bath oil. And I am going to come on to our mother's range. We've got 3 beautiful products in a mini range just for mums, sort of pregnant mums and things. And I'll come to that later. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to sort of touch on that. You might see in some of the imagery that we have the award mentioned. So that was the last baby award run by the Mother and Baby magazine, and we won. So that's quite nice to know. Okay, so now I'm going to go through the products individually. First one, this is the one that I am photographed with in the current seasonal guide. So this is, of course, the baby balm. I have, as you can see here, this is very well used. I have one upstairs and one downstairs, and I also decanter a little one into, you know what, our tiny little sample pots that we can buy in business tools. I always make sure I have some of this in my handbag and in my changing bag as well, because it's just one of those products that I just want to have with me the whole time. It's incredibly nourishing. It has, for those of you that are maybe unfamiliar with it, I appreciate that you might not all work with the baby range on a regular basis. So for those of you that are unfamiliar, it is a balm. It does have the consistency sort of similar to Wild Rose Beauty Balm, something like that. Probably a little bit oilier, but a similar kind of consistency to Wild Rose Beauty Balm. It is allergy certified, which is good to know, and it's completely fragrance free. So it is one of our fragrance free products. It contains shea butter, botanical oils, and of course it does contain beeswax. All our balms do contain beeswax, of course. I just wanted to mention that just in case you did have a customer that was vegan. But just as a little side note, I'm not going to get into this too much tonight, but all our bee products, so our honey, our beeswax, our propolis, etc., is completely sustainably resourced and ethically sourced as well. We only take from the hive once the bees are done with it themselves. We never strip a hive. So I just wanted to sort of say that, because I do actually know some vegans who are fairly strict vegans, but they will still use some of our balms and our Be Lovely products because they know that they are that the ingredients within them are ethically sourced. So I just thought I'd mention that. Okay. So I'm actually going to stop talking about this particular product now, and I'm going to hand you over to Katherine. But I just was going to say that actually, of all the products that I have here that I use on a daily basis, I would probably use this one the most, and it can be used in a multitude of ways. So I'll hand you over to Katherine now, and she can talk to you a bit more.
Thank you. So with the baby balm, it is without doubt the product that I sell the most. Because it is really a bit of a one-pot wonder for babies. I tend to have the samples, because you can get the baby balm in a sample. So given my work is with mothers and babies, I hand these out all the time, and they then can actually try it for themselves. And it is really, really amazing because you can use it all over the body. You can use it just as a general moisturizer, but it is absolutely incredible for helping skin that has got a little bit dry. So we're just kind of coming out of winter now, but it's particularly been really well used when babies get sore faces, sore cheeks, sore chin, sore neck, this kind of bib area that we call it. Particularly because they're drooling. So when babies are teething, they have excessive saliva and they tend to drool a lot. And then what happens on top of that, with kind of cold weather and wind and things, they get very sore skin. So one of the brilliant ways to use this is to be able to put it onto the face. And what's so nice is that you can confidently reassure parents that, as Cressy's just brilliantly explained, it's organic, it's, there's absolutely nothing in there that's of any concern. So if the babies happen to get a bit on their hands and put their hand to their mouth, or they had it around their mouth, it's not going to cause any difficulties at all. So it's really, really good on the face. And I always recommend to parents that they actually put it on when their babies have kind of gone into a deep sleep. Because then they're not going to be frustrated that babies are just trying to rub it off or anything, and it will just really, really absorb while they're sleeping. So particularly around the face, but it's also really good on their bottom as well. So because of teething, they can have excessive saliva, as I said, which can make, without going into too gross details, it can make their poo a bit runny, so they can get a really sore bottom. And again, the balm is absolutely fantastic. So you can use the balm as a preventative, but you can also just use it as a general moisturizer. And it can be used all over the body. But I have had, and I need to kind of collate them, the most incredible testimonies about the baby balm on really particularly dry skin. So really, almost, going towards extremely dry skin, like sort of eczema. And the results have been so good, it's actually prevented them from needing to go to the GP. So obviously, if there's a situation where they need further, opinion, there's no question they need to seek that medical advice. But actually, by trying the balm, they found that they can actually clear up the dry skin by just using the baby balm. And that's been amazing, because particularly in the last few months, couple of years, it's actually been really difficult for parents to get appointments with GPs. So to see the absolutely amazing results there's been with the baby balm is amazing. Just to have it treated completely naturally as well. It's not sticky. That's often one of the comments that they make, that it's very, very easily absorbed. And all the, the kind of reassurances that it's allergy tested. And I literally do sell pots of it. I've actually just got a huge order here because I got caught out a couple of times because I'd already sold out. But as I said, the samples are really good because they can just have that in their nappy bag as well, and try it. And they can just use it with each nappy change or after bath time, or as we said, on the face as well.
Yeah, fab. I was just going to, I'm glad you mentioned the sample, because I was going to say, actually, the baby balm is the only product that we have in the baby range that we do have a sample for.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice when I go to, you know, mother and toddler groups, play groups, etc. You can imagine I go to quite a few of those. Although I don't wade in and start promoting Neal's Yard straight off the bat. It is something that after I've been there a while, I will kind of, you know, hand out a sample of the baby balm with maybe a seasonal guide to some of the mums that I've been chatting to, and it's just sort of a nice thing to do. But yes, also mentioning the eczema, this has been fantastic. And actually, it was one of the first products I used on my daughter, who's now 10. When she was about 2.5, she had some eczema, and this, without doubt, cleared it up. My 2-year-old now, Josh, he tends to get very, very sore, dry, sort of red patches on his cheeks, particularly in the winter. And again, pop a little bit of this on him morning and then again after his bath, and it does the trick. I'm certainly not going to sit here and denigrate GPs. They do an amazing job, particularly in the last couple of years. But I don't like the way they kind of just sort of, you know, prescribe aqueous creams and goodness knows what else, you know, barrier type creams that are not necessarily particularly healthy to the skin. Whereas our products, obviously, they allow the skin to breathe. They are completely natural, completely organic, and they do actually work. Frankly, they do work. I had a lady say to me once, so what's in this Neal's Yard Remedies you know, range that makes it so good then? And I said, no, you're missing the point. It's what's not in it.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in that. We don't have a whole load of petroleum jelly and you know, chemicals, etc. in any of our products. And our products, particularly the baby products, are so pure and so natural, completely organic. There's not a chemical inside, and it just works with the skin to heal. So yeah, so I mean, we won't be going into as much detail on every product, don't worry, but this is a real biggie, and I think that's why, because when they asked me to take some photographs with India for the seasonal guide, I took a few different ones for them to choose from, holding different baby products, and I'm fairly certain they chose this one, the one of us holding this product, because it is one of the best sellers in the range, and it is just, as we've said, a real multi-use product. I have to say, occasionally I'll use it on myself as well if I'm lazy and it's the only thing that's around. I tend to get a bit of a dry patch on my forehead sometimes in the winter, you know, the central heating and everything, and I'll pop a bit on that. I'll rub it into my knuckles that get a bit dry, around my cuticles, you know, my elbows. It's just a really good handy pot to have. So that's
one last thing is that it might sound really obvious, but I don't think necessarily, and I'll be really honest because I had my 2 children quite a while ago, is parents necessarily put 2 and 2 together that something like Vaseline, you know, is petroleum. It's not remotely natural, and it's such a big name, and it's, oh yeah, that's what you use on a baby. And when you kind of explain, yeah, but this is, you know, completely natural, and you obviously don't want them to feel awkward and like, oh, I'm doing the wrong thing, but they don't necessarily think that, you know, Vaseline is necessarily made in any massively different way. So it's just sometimes quite good to be able to explain that.
Absolutely. I mean, Vaseline essentially is petroleum jelly. Petroleum, the clue is in the name, isn't it, really? And what happens is the beauty companies go to the oil companies, and they literally just take the very, very cheap mineral oil which floats to the top of the tanks, the big oil tanks. They just buy the top layer of it, that kind of gooey layer, and that is essentially what petroleum jelly is. Personally, I wouldn't want to smear that all over my baby, but yeah, obviously there's no shaming. We don't want to kind of start making people feel bad about their choices, but I think it's nice to kind of educate people and give them a natural alternative. Okay, so moving on, like I say, that's quite a big one, beauty balm, which is, sorry, baby balm, which is why I started with it. But moving on, I've got the baby lotion here. You can see mine's a fairly battered bottle. This is a very nice lotion, actually, and one of the products I started using when I first joined Neal's Yard Remedies on my daughter, who was then quite young, my eldest daughter. This has got a fragrance to it, but it's a very, very mild fragrance. It's fragranced with lavender and starflower essential oil, but as I say, it's got a very, very mild fragrance to it, and of course, that blend is completely safe for babies. It's hypoallergenic. It's not a word I can say very well, but you get the idea, hypoallergenic. And what I like about it is actually quite easily absorbed, and it just helps to soften and smooth the skin like you would expect a lotion to. It's not one that I use daily. I have to say I don't tend to use this daily, but it is quite nice maybe after a bath, or if little one's skin is maybe a little bit dry. Great for babies that suffer with eczema, so you can sort of use this all over their body and then use something like baby balm topically. But yeah, it's just a really nice sort of general product. Do you have anything to add on that one, Catherine?
Not particularly, because I must admit parents do tend to often get a pot of the balm and use that as a moisturizer, so not particularly that one.
Yeah, fine. And with the balm, you can really sort of rub it between your fingers and rub it, and you can use that as a moisturizer as well, obviously. So, but it's nice to have the lotion as an option. The baby bath and shampoo. Now I get through a ton of this. So this is the 200 ml. But we also sell the 950 ml of this now. We never used to, but more recently now we're selling the big bottles, almost litre size bottles. So this is the £8.50 version, and then of course there's the £29 version as well for the big one. And this is fab. I really do swear by this. It's a very gentle cleanser that it will not strip the skin or the hair in any way. It's got a very, very lovely mild fragrance. Again, contains lavender, so it's lovely before bed. So I bath my little ones before bed, like many parents do. You do the whole sort of dinner, bath, bed circus, don't you, every night? It has got, it's a very, very gently foaming product. Obviously, it doesn't foam massively. None of our products contain foaming agent, because foaming agent is essentially an additive that we don't use in products. So we only use the sort of natural foaming products, like the foaming baths that we have. This one doesn't foam like, say, the aromatic foaming bath or the seaweed Narnica, but it has a sort of a gentle, more softer foam to it. It's vegetable based, this, which is nice to know. And like I say, there's not a huge amount to say about it, except that it does smell lovely. It really does what it says on the tin. You can use it as a shampoo, and that's what I tend to use it for. But you can put it in the bath as well. Or if I run out of the baby soap, I'm a big fan of our baby soap, but currently it's out of stock, and if it does go in and out of stock, I just use this instead, which is absolutely fine. So I wash their bodies with this. Yeah, and it's just lovely and gentle, and it doesn't sting their eyes in any way, and it just makes them smell gorgeous. So when they come out of the bath, they've got that absolutely gorgeous smell to them. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Catherine?
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful product, and I think the fact that it's got the lavender in, particularly as we're saying, babies are usually bath towards the end of the day, and also chamomile as well, which again is just so gentle. People often have chamomile tea, don't they, at bedtime? So that combination, it's just such a gentle, kind of reassuring, comforting smell. Is absolutely lovely. So yeah, definitely highly recommended, and it's great that you can get the big sizes as well. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's one of my, that it's up there with the baby balm for me, and I use it on a daily basis, that one. Okay, moving on to the oils. We actually have two oils. We've got this one here, the baby massage oil. My bottle is very grim looking, as you can see. And we also have the pure baby oil. So I'll start with this one. So they are 100% organic. This is 100% organic ingredients, very nourishing, incredibly nourishing, like you would expect an oil to be. And it's perfect, as the name would suggest, for massage. Now, obviously, Catherine will probably talk a little bit more about massage, because she is a certified baby massage practitioner, and she teaches lovely classes on baby massage. I have actually done 2 baby massage courses as a mum, one when my eldest was born, and then one when my third baby Josh was born, just before we went into lockdown. And it's just such a lovely thing to do, I have to say. So if you do have customers, clients, anybody who's expecting or got a brand new baby, I'd highly recommend baby massage classes, and something like this goes beautifully alongside it. Now this one, the massage oil, contains essential oils, rose, lavender and chamomile, and like I say, it's just very, very gentle, got a very mild, relaxing scent to it, but as I say, it's mild, it's not overpowering anyway, perfectly safe for use with babies. And it's just a lovely product. The pure baby oil, which looks identical to this, same shape bottle, etc., is also 100% organic ingredients. It's nourishing, etc., but it is completely fragrance free. It contains no essential oils whatsoever. And the reason the company have both is because obviously some parents would prefer to not use any essential oil on their new babies. Now, like I said, there's nothing to worry about. These are a perfectly safe blend of essential oils, all all our scientists, our aromatherapists are highly trained. They know exactly what they're doing. But some people, even so, would prefer not to use essential oils on new babies, which is absolutely understandable. So the pure baby oil, as the name would suggest, is completely fragrance free and essential oil free. It's allergy certified, okay, like the baby balm. So the baby balm and the pure baby oil are both allergy certified, which is good to know, you know, reassuring. Yeah, it's just better for maybe a slightly more anxious mum or a mum that would prefer not to have a fragrance in any way. I'll pass you over to Katherine, because I'm sure she's probably got more to say about the oils than me.
So yeah, with baby massage, all of the parents that come on my baby massage course get a bottle of the baby massage oil. When we learn as instructors about baby massage, one of the things that they do teach is that it's important to have an oil that is actually unscented, because part of baby massage, a huge part of baby massage courses, is about bonding. And one of the big key things with that is them being able to smell the parent, being able to smell the mum or dad or whoever's giving them the massage. So as a baby massage instructor, I demonstrate on a doll and the parents massage their babies. So it's all about teaching them the benefits of the different strokes. With my baby massage class, it's also a baby massage and relaxation course. So I do lovely like breathing exercises and a guided meditation. I can weave Neal's yard into that as well. So although the association does recommend a non-scented oil, I actually feel very comfortable to use the baby massage oil because it is so mild, and I obviously know that everything in it is completely organic, and I can reassure the parents that as well. I also explain as well that the blue glass is helping the fact that nothing has to be added in to preserve it, because it blocks out 97% of the UV light as well. So they love hearing about that. The oil absorbs into the skin so well. So like they'll have a bit and massage, and then they'll get a bit more, and it just absorbs into the skin so well. And you know, they do continually actually ask, oh, is it okay if they put their hand to their mouth? And I'm able to constantly reassure them about that. So I do really love the scent. You can also use the oil as well on cradle cap, so onto the scalp as well. Yeah, you know, both oils are absolutely perfect for baby massage. And you know, if you do come across any mums that are maybe struggling a bit, they're very tired, maybe quite emotional, you know, trying to adapt to their new role as a mum, I would massively recommend baby massage classes, because there's no doubt it does help with relaxation. It can help reduce postnatal depression. It helps with bonding, and you know, we can use all our lovely products within that as well. So yeah, definitely. But no, I'm always fully confident and happy to use the oils, either one. But I do actually give out the massage oil.
Fab, thank you. And it's interesting actually that you mentioned cradle cap, because it's my son Josh, my 2-year-old, he still, even though he's got a full head of hair, obviously he still does have quite a lot of cradle cap, and I've been rubbing a little bit of the oil into his scalp before I wash his hair once or twice a week, and I'll sort of leave it in for, you know, few minutes before bath time, and then I'll wash his hair with the baby bath and shampoo and gently comb through, and it is amazing how much sort of cradle cap is lifted off. Bit of a gross conversation, but it really does help. And I would much rather use our baby oil followed by the baby shampoo and a comb, rather than some of the harsh cradle cap shampoos and cradle cap treatments that are on the market. So they're not very pleasant, and they do contain quite a lot of chemicals. So yeah, so it's interesting you say that, because cradle cap is one of those things that mums ask about quite a lot. Okay, moving on, the baby barrier cream. So again, I've got one upstairs and one downstairs, and you can see that it is very well used in my house. The way I describe this to my customers in language that I know they're going to understand is I always say it's a bit like an organic pseudo-creme. And I think we all know, you know, what pseudo-creme is. I'm certainly not going to sit here and denigrate it. That's, apart from anything else, it's highly unprofessional to do that. But obviously, pseudo-creme is a white antiseptic cream. It's often, you know, used for nappies, and it can be used on anything really, cuts, grazes, etc. Like I say, it is antiseptic. It's very thick white cream, and the baby barrier cream is similar, as you can see, similar in colour, similar in texture, and it sort of is applied in a similar way. And like I say, that is how I sort of promote it to my customers, because I know that they're going to understand that. Of course, it is organic, like they all are, and it contains organic essential oil. Chamomile essential oil. Of course, it's organic. It contains chamomile essential oil, and it's zinc based. It is very, very good for the nappy area. So I personally, everybody's slightly different in the way they use the products. I personally find the baby balm is great as a preventative. But if they have got a little bit of a sore bottom, I actually find this is very good as a cure. This really does help to take down the redness and calm the area down, and soothes the skin very much. And as you can see, for those of you that are watching, yeah, it's very well used. As I say, I've got one upstairs and one downstairs. This does contain beeswax as well, I should say. So again, just worth noting that this is not a vegan product. Just a little side note, actually, we do not market ourselves at all as being a vegan company, just to be very clear. We are a vegetarian company, absolutely, and we are completely cruelty free. That's something we're passionate about, but we've never marketed ourselves as a vegan company. But by default, I think about 95% of our products or something, don't quote me on that, but it's a high number, are vegan, because they just don't contain any bee products. But there are one or two items that do contain bee products, and as I've already explained, they are very responsibly and ethically sourced. But this does contain beeswax, so please do make a note of that. But yes, as I've said, really good for treating sore areas, not just necessarily the nappy area, but if they get little sores maybe around their mouth or on their chin, cheeks, little cuts, little grazes, something like this. Personally, I would rather use something like this than, say, you know, Savlon or Pseudo-Creme, something like that, because of course those products do contain chemicals, etc., and ours of course don't. They're completely natural. Catherine?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the baby balm, we've sort of said, is very, very multi-use, and then particularly because the nappy is on the skin pretty much 24/7. So the nappy area, the skin does get a really hard time, and as much as parents diligently change nappies, it just really doesn't get a whole lot of air. So it's quite useful, as well as sort of explaining about the baby balm and the baby barrier cream, that it's actually really good for them just to have a little bit of time with their nappy off. So like towards the end of the day, they can just put an old towel down and maybe like a sort of activity centre, and the babies can kick about a bit with their nappy off. And then when they come to put the nappy back on again, that's the perfect time to put the barrier cream on. So if they are going through a bit of a time where their bottom is really quite sore, again, another brilliant natural way, as well as our lovely products, is actually just to let the bottom get a little bit of fresh air, maybe longer than they normally would. And it's really good for the baby's development as well, because they can kick about a lot more with their nappy off. They can start to roll a little bit as well. So yeah, massively recommend the baby balm, but also the barrier cream as well. And again, I've just had the most incredible results with the barrier cream. You can actually mix the two together as well. If they kind of want it to be extra moisturizing, you can actually kind of just, you know, have a little bit of a mixture of the two together. But yeah, it's fantastic. And as Cressy says, you know, just the best natural alternative really to using something with the antiseptic in. So yeah, massively recommended. And I've got a kind of stack of them because they do tend to sell them. I think these things as well that they can just have in their bag out and about. You know, the barrier cream is not sort of too heavy in comparison to the glass jar of the baby balm as well. That makes it a lot easier. So one of the mums actually asked me today about the 15 grams of the baby balm. We don't have those, do we? They're just kind of something that pop up every now and again. You know, like the mini.
Sorry, yes, no, yeah, they are sometimes like a special or something. Every now and again, they'll be in the Yes Please gifts or as a special if we've got a winter sale or something. But yeah, they're not a standard, which is a shame.
Because they're handy, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very handy actually. They're very handbag friendly and changing bag friendly. Yeah, they are, absolutely. Okay, so the last of our baby products is the organic baby powder here, which of course, as they all are, is certified organic. Now our powder, and all our powders actually, because we have a couple of others, are talc free. We don't have talc in any of our powders. This is also fragrance free. So we have the 3 products that are fragrance free. Just to clarify, this one the baby balm and the pure baby oil, and it contains cornstarch and chamomile. So again, very, very gentle, very, very soft, and really good for sort of making sure baby is completely dry. Some mums sort of worry that, you know, their babies aren't getting dry and that they get a bit sore in their creases, you know, their chubby legs and everything. So if you do want to put powder on a baby after a bath, then highly recommend something like this over and above a traditional talc. Talc is not good, I should say, without going into too much detail. Talc has been considered, is now considered to be a bit of a carcinogen, and I have heard it said that particularly with baby girls, you shouldn't use talc in the nappy area. Particles can travel up the vaginal canal and can actually cause aggravation in the cervix. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I have heard reports along those lines. So for parents that do want to use a powder to sort of thoroughly dry the baby or to get rid of any kind of moisture or anything like that, just to make the baby's skin possibly a little bit more comfortable, then I would definitely recommend our powder, because as I say, it is organic cornstarch rather than talc. Katherine, do you have anything to add with that? I don't really have a huge amount to say on this one.
No, I think you've said it all really. That all sounds great.
Great, lovely. Actually, there's me saying it's the last one. It's not the last product. We have the soap. Yeah. The reason I said it's the last one is because it's the last of the baby products that I've got with me in this basket. I'm a big fan of our soap, but I've got an open one upstairs in the bathroom. And of course, it's all slippery. And, you know, I didn't want to hold up some slippery old half-used soap. I think you all know what a soap bar looks like. But actually, for me, along with the balm and the baby bath and shampoo, the soap is probably the third product that I swear by out of these products, and I use daily in the bath. And it's palm oil free, like all our soaps are. So I just want to say that off the get-go, because that's a question we get a lot. All our soaps are completely palm oil free. And it's got a really lovely sort of a cleansing way to it. It's very gentle, of course, doesn't strip the skin at all, just like you wouldn't expect. And again, it is fragrance free. So we actually do have 4 fragrance free products in the range. But actually, I have a 10-year-old and she uses it as well. She's got quite sensitive skin. So when she's washing, you know, intimately, etc., she still uses this soap and is absolutely fine with it. And we do find if we're ever away or she's, you know, staying at her dad's or somewhere and she's using a different soap, she actually can get quite sore. So I would recommend, if you do, you know, are sensitive yourself, or if you have other people that you know that are sensitive, using our baby soap, the bar, is fantastic. It's coconut oil based, so it's oil based soap. So it's got that lovely creamy lathery texture to it, and it really does create that sort of soft lather. It's enriched with sunflower oil as well, so it's very nourishing. So not only is it cleansing, and it really does obviously do the job it's supposed to, it does clean the skin, it's very sort of nourishing at the same time. And as I say, I'm a big fan of it. Sadly, it's currently out of stock, but it comes and goes, and you know, and actually I find it lasts quite a long time. It's quite a thick, heavy sort of bar of soap, and it does last quite a long time. It also comes in a very sweet little almost cardboard kind of box. And just a little footnote to say that all our packaging with Neal's Yard Remedies, so, you know, we're thinking about things like, I don't know, the boxes that the tea bags come in, for example, and the gift boxes and things like that. All our packaging comes from FSC certified woodland. And we have actually helped the Woodland Trust protect over, oh gosh, I don't even know what the figure is now. When I first wrote these notes, it was 500,000 acres of endangered forest, but these notes are 2 or 3 years old now, so I think it's a lot more since then. But yeah, so we work very closely with the Woodland Trust, and all our packaging is FSC certified. So I just kind of, you know, wanted to throw that in because the soap does come in that box. Katherine, anything to add on the soap? I think
it's just a really good one, particularly for anybody and older children, but adults as well that do have sensitive skin. My daughter seems to react to like so many products, but to have something like that where you know it's so gentle. Just one thing to say, as much as I'm so passionate about recommending these products, is say a baby, particularly newborn babies with very delicate skin, actually did seem to be a bit red, or the parents were concerned about the skin. skin, you can just sort of say that initially just water is fine. Like they don't need to have these products in the bath or a soap or anything like that if they're feeling a bit nervous about using them straight away. Of course, as we've said, they're absolutely amazing, but if the skin is a little bit sensitive, then that's just quite a professional way to kind of say, well, you know, it's fine just to use water, and then obviously as they gain their confidence and the baby skin matures a little bit more, then of course, you know, you can recommend these different products.
Fab. And just to prove that I have a baby, she's right here, she's screaming her head off. So, okay. So I am now going to have to literally breastfeed while we are doing the training. So sorry about that, guys. You hopefully won't be able to see anything. But yeah, so this is the life of a working mum, isn't it? So she's screaming her head off, and my partner's having to deal with our 2-year-old. So sorry, here we go. Right, so although it's actually not part of the baby range per se, I did want to bring the children's hand wash to your attention as well. This is actually, as you can see, it's actually empty, had an empty one. And it's a fairly new addition to our range. I don't think it's been going that long, a few years maybe, we launched this. It's completely natural, I can never say this word, dermatologically. Thank you. Honestly, tested. And it's got a really lovely formula to it. So the formula is chamomile, lavender, and it's got the propolis in it as well. So again, make a note there. So it's not vegan friendly, this particular one, but it is safe from birth onwards. So you could even wash a newborn baby's hands with this. Quite why you would, I don't know, but you could. And this is £7.50 for 185 ml. And it's lovely. It just smells really, really nice and gentle. It comes in a plastic bottle, I should say recycled plastic, of course. So all our plastic packaging is recycled and recyclable. But it's so therefore it's a bit safer, because of course some parents would prefer to have a plastic bottle in the bathroom as opposed to a glass one for obvious reasons. But yeah, it's a nice one. It's not one, I've got to be honest, that I use a lot, because we tend to use the Be Lovely range, which also is in plastic. Yeah, and the Be Lovely range, as I say, is also in plastic packaging, and it's considered to be our family range. We've always sold this to be like a family range. It's slightly bigger, so it's our value range, and with the bees and everything on it, it's supposed to be, you know, a little bit more attractive to young children. Generally speaking, we sell the Be Lovely range sort of for use for 3 upwards, but that is very, very general, and it's more something that Neal's Yard Remedies say to cover themselves than anything. I have a 2-year-old, as I said, and I certainly wash his hands with the Be Lovely all the time. As the name suggests, not a vegan friendly product, but a really lovely one. And we have one of these in the upstairs and the downstairs bathroom, you know, and I use that a lot. But I did just want to mention the children's hand wash, because, you know, it is a lovely sort of separate addition, slightly separate addition to the baby range. I don't know if you sell much of that, Katherine? Or...
Yeah, no, I really love it. It's a bit like the baby shampoo. I personally just absolutely love the smell. It's just a really calming, nice smell. I think, if I remember rightly, it came out a little bit before the pandemic, and then obviously we've had the pandemic with all the hand washing. So it's actually been quite a nice one to promote.
Yeah, because, like I say, I thought it came out fairly recently, and I think you're right, it came out at a good time. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm literally obsessed with the Be Lovely range. I just think it's such a happy smell, and it's again you can promote it as, and it is that bigger size, so better value, and it's plastic and all the things Cressy's just said. It's just such a lovely range. I just wanted to touch on the Be Lovely range briefly. I do actually do a whole other set of training on the Be Lovely range, which I will do again in May around World Bee Day. But it is a lovely range for your customers and clients that do have young families. And as I said, because it's in plastic packaging rather than the glass, that does appeal to a lot of parents. And it is slightly larger, better value, all the things we've just said. And because it contains the lovely honey and the orange, the sweet orange, it's just a really lovely fragrance for young children. And it's just a nice one. But it's just a couple of things to mention there. Okay, so moving on.
I'm now going to touch on the pregnancy/mothers range. Obviously, we've only got the 3 main products in the mothers range, but we've also got the pregnancy supplement. So I thought I'd start with that. I don't have one to hold up because I'm not pregnant and I'm not going to be again. 4 is plenty, so I didn't have one to show, but obviously you all know what supplements look like, and I just sort of wanted to rave about it a little bit. I have used the pregnancy supplement for my last 2 pregnancies, and it is fantastic. I don't like to denigrate other companies, as I've said, but I used Pregnacare in my first 2 pregnancies because that was before I came to Neal's Yard Remedies, and I didn't know, quite frankly, about the Neal's Yard Remedies supplement, and I was dreadfully sick through both my first 2 pregnancies. And interestingly, I have since learned that Pregnacare can potentially cause sickness, or not cause it, but exacerbate it, whereas our supplement doesn't, and that was true in my case. It can be used before, during and after pregnancy, so if you've got a customer that is trying to conceive, then it's a really nice one to try and get the body in good condition and give it the nutrients it needs before pregnancy. You can use it throughout the entire pregnancy, so some pregnancy supplements on the market say that you should use it possibly for the first 12 weeks or so. Ours can be used throughout the entire pregnancy, and I certainly did use mine the whole time, and then you can continue to use it while you're breastfeeding. And actually I am still breastfeeding literally right now, and I only stopped using it probably a couple of months ago. I just thought, you know what, I've kind of come to the end of my journey with the pregnancy supplement. Now I've gone back to the multivitamins and the vitamin C, etc. Now, the pregnancy supplement does contain the daily amount of folic acid, which of course the Department of Health recommends all pregnant women take. But it also contains, I'm reading here, I don't want to get anything wrong, it contains vitamins B2, B3, B5, B6, B16, vitamin C, iron, magnesium, and folate. I'll quickly say that again for anybody that might be taking notes. So it does contain the daily amount of folic acid, which the Department of Health recommend, NHS, etc. recommend. But it also contains vitamins B2, B3, B5, B6, B16, vitamin C, iron, magnesium, and folate. And you literally take 2 capsules a day. They're a similar size to our other capsules. You just take 2 daily. And yeah, like I said, I really swore by them. I've been fortunate enough, generally speaking, to have sort of good, healthy pregnancies. I certainly can't complain. I went full term with both my last 2 babies, well, with all 4 of them actually, but specifically my last 2 as I was taking this. Josh was born literally 2 days before his due date, and Indy was born on her due date. They were both very good weights. Josh was £9.10 and Indy was £8.15, so very sizable babies. And both times I had comments from health visitors, midwives, etc., on what healthy babies they were. And although obviously I kept myself healthy throughout the pregnancy, I truly believe that the supplement helped a lot, because when you've got older children, you're running around, you can't always get all the nutrients that you need when you're pregnant. So yes, I'm a big fan of that. And obviously, as you would expect, completely organic, no fillers, no binders, no muck, which you do unfortunately get in a lot of supplements these days. So I just kind of wanted to do a bit of a shout out about that supplement. I'm a big fan, and if anyone wants to know any more at any point, please do reach out to me, and I can tell you a bit more if you've got a customer that's interested. Okay, so unless, Catherine, you have anything to add on that capsule?
No, only that no. I need to revisit it, because I tend to see mums postnatally, but I keep saying you can use it, postnatally for feeding, just taking care of yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's very good for breastfeeding as well. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that one. Okay, so moving on to the mother's range. And again, unfortunately, I used these products while I was pregnant, but I've kind of used them up and gone back to my normal products now. So I don't actually, you've got some, have you got, Catherine?
Yeah, I've got the 3.
Oh, you superstar. So Catherine will hold them up. So I'm going to start by talking about the Mother's Balm, which is, there you go. It's in a pot very similar size to the baby balm, but you can get the bigger pot as well, and it's intensely nourishing, and used daily it helps to reduce the appearance of stretch marks. So if you've got a pregnant lady concerned about stretch marks over her belly, her boobs, her hips, etc., if used daily, this can significantly help reduce the appearance of stretch marks. And it's actually clinically proven, and I'll come back to that term in a moment, it's clinically proven to increase the skin's elasticity. It's allergy certified and it's fragrance free. And I mentioned that the fragrance free, partly obviously for your knowledge, but also it's worth knowing that, you know, lots of pregnant women tend to get a very, very sensitive nose, very, very sensitive to smells and fragrances when they're pregnant. Sometimes they don't want to have anything that's fragranced at all, quite frankly. You know, I know many ladies that have suffered with morning sickness, and any kind of smell, frankly, can spark it off. So having something completely fragrance free is very, very helpful to them. It does contain beeswax, again, so worth noting that it does contain beeswax, so it's not a vegan friendly product. It can be quite sticky. I just want to say it can be quite sticky. So from experience, having used this fairly recently, as I said, India is only 8 months, nearly 8 months. What I would do is I would sort of rub it all over my belly, and then I would walk around for a while, you know, while it sort of soaked in and did its thing before getting dressed. Or if I was applying it at night, I'd then sort of wander around, you know, maybe just in a pair of knickers and an open dressing gown to let it soak in before I went into bed and you know, got it all over my duvet, or all over the clothes, because it can be quite sticky and it does take a while to soak in. So that's just something that I thought I'd mention, so that you can pass on that little tidbit to your customers. But as I say, it is a clinically proven product to increase skin's elasticity. And just what we mean by clinically proven, not all our products are clinically proven. It actually costs a fortune to have a product clinically proven. Essentially, in a nutshell, just keeping it brief, when we have a product clinically proven, it has to be sent away to a completely independent laboratory, in completely anonymous packaging, so it can't go in any of our blue bottles or jars or anything like that. And basically the completely independent scientists and researchers test the product to analyze whether the product does what it claims to do. If it comes back that yes, it does claim, you know, it does do what the manufacturer is claiming it does, then it is clinically proven. Okay, I've simplified that slightly, but that is essentially what it means to be clinically proven. We do quite a few of our facial products are clinically proven, but actually this is one of the products in the mother and baby range that is, and it's just worth noting. As I said, it's a very expensive thing to do, so unfortunately not all our products can be, but it is worth knowing. And of course it does help with that lovely elasticity, so it seeps down to a deeper level of the dermis where the elastin and collagen are produced, and it really helps to boost the elasticity, which of course is so important when you've got that growing, stretching belly. Katherine, do you have anything to add on that?
Just to say that I do have quite a number of mums that get this for themselves or friends after they've had the baby, so they continue to use it after they've had the baby, just because they find it so nourishing. Mm-hmm. And obviously your body is still massively adjusting, and you've got all that additional elasticity after you've had a baby in your skin. So it's very much for, you know, after the baby as well, and can be a really lovely gift. Definitely had the feedback that it needs to soak in, that it can be a bit sticky, and I get samples of this to give out. So it's the one in the mother's range, so the mother's balm and the baby balm. I tend to just dole out samples as much as I can, because they do tend to really use them.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that it is the only product in the mother's range that we have a sample for, just like the baby balm is the only product in the baby range that we have a sample for. So it is lovely for expectant mums. And if I know of anybody that's expecting, you know, I will throw one in. Equally, if I've just met a lady who's recently had a baby, I will often give her a mother's balm, because it can be used, of course, all over the breast, because the breast will swell when you've had a baby, whether you're breastfeeding or not, frankly, at first. And they, of course, can also get stretch marks, so any help that they can have is also the good, isn't it? So And as I say, it's allergy certified and it's fragrance free. So smeared over the top of the boobs and round the boobs is not going to harm the baby in any way if they are breastfeeding. But yeah, so like I say, it can be a bit sticky. So it's worth knowing that, giving yourself a few minutes to allow it to soak in before getting dressed. But it is a good one. Okay, so the mother's massage oil, again, 100% organic. And it's an aromatic. It's actually infused with neroli and mandarin. It contains almond oil, so that, again, wanted just to sort of to note that, nut allergies and things. It does contain almond oil, and it contains vitamin E, and it's incredibly nourishing, like you would expect from one of our oils. Now, from personal experience, I actually preferred to use this on my belly than the mother's balm. I just like an oil. I always have done. You know, I take a spoonful of the beauty oil orally every day. I use the facial oils on my face. I love the you know, the Wild Rose dry body oil that we've got now. I just love an oil. And for me, I found that the mother's massage oil soaked in quicker and easier than the mother's balm. It was a lot less sticky. It just sort of soaked in. So personally, I got through several bottles actually of the massage oil, mother's massage oil, when I was pregnant. Used it all over my belly, my hips, my boobs, all over really, even down my legs and arms. And I have to say, I didn't get any stretch marks. In all 4 of my pregnancies, I've been quite lucky, but considering Josh was so big, £9.10, I've been fortunate enough not to have any stretch marks. Now, just to say, it's worth noting that stretch marks can be hereditary. So if your mum, grandma, etc. suffered with stretch marks when she was pregnant, then you are more likely, more predisposed, if you like, to suffer with stretch marks during your pregnancy. However, and it's not really something that can be avoided completely. You know, that I should just say that. It's just not something that one can completely avoid. However, you can certainly give your skin a helping hand. And I am convinced that by keeping my skin nourished throughout my pregnancy, and I started probably applying the oil when I was only, say, 4 or 5 months, and used it all the way up to birth pretty much, I'm sure definitely helped. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that massage oil, and as I say, it can be used anywhere. And of course, you haven't got to stop using it when you're not pregnant anymore. Of course not. It's a lovely body oil, but it has sort of been produced, if you like, for a pregnant mum. Catherine, anything to add on that?
I just think as well, it says a soothing blend, and it is really soothing. So it's got the organic orange flower and mandarin, so it's such a lovely smell. And also just bearing in mind again, because I'm seeing the mums with the babies, in terms of the balm having to soak in, the oil is a little bit quicker. Like, you know, if they're trying to juggle the baby and haven't got a lot of time, the oil is, you know, quicker to rub in and will soak in more quickly than the balm. There's a couple of really lovely comments in the chat actually that Gemma said she used a combination of the balm and the oil, so using both. And also Anne-Marie said that she used the mother's balm on her C-section scar with amazing results. So that's really, really good to know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
all this sort of stuff is really good. And actually, Catherine, you mentioned that you had some good testimonies possibly on the baby balm. If you or anybody here have got any testimonies on any of the products, not just the baby range, any products, quite frankly, do feel free to put them on the Facebook team page, because it's so nice for other consultants to see them and read them, you know. And often they contain little bits of advice or little things that people hadn't necessarily thought of. So if you do have any testimonies at all, whack them on the Facebook page. Okay, so and then the last product in the mother's range, of course, is the mother's bath oil. And now mother's bath oil is award-winning. It's one of those award-winning products that I mentioned right at the beginning. And actually, Mother and Baby magazine have said it's the perfect treat for a new mum. And it has actually been featured in Mother and Baby magazine on more than one occasion. It's one of their sort of hero products that they kind of go back to and rave about. As the name suggests, this is an oil for the bath. And it's blended with bergamot and again, my pronunciation on this is rubbish. I can never say it. Liang. Hope I'm saying that right. So blended with bergamot and liang. Very nourishing, but it also promotes this really lovely sense of relaxation and calm and well-being. It's difficult to explain, but when I used it in my last couple of pregnancies, obviously I had older children, and you know what it's like, you're running around, school run, dramas at school, you know, dramas with my ex-husband, well, you know, whatever it might be. So just occasionally to have a bath, particularly with this lovely mother's bath oil, really made me sort of unwind, really kind of helped me sort of focus on the baby and my breathing. It's just a really lovely one to have. And it's often one that mums get gifted. It's not necessarily something that a mum might buy for herself, I have to be honest, but it is a lovely, lovely product. And of course, not necessarily a product just for a pregnant mum. You know, on the lead up to Mother's Day, as we are right now, as we're filming this, we're approaching Mother's Day. This is something that obviously we sell quite a lot of, along with the Women's Balance range. You know, they very much speak to mums, don't they? And this is a lovely product to give as a gift. Really sort of encourage her to take some time out, to spend some time alone in the bathroom, and pamper herself. So yeah, not a huge amount else to say on that particularly. Obviously, you would just run it under the running tap. That's how I would do it anyway, or just a little amount in the bath. The only thing I would say is when you do sell it to a mum or someone that's buying it for someone else, it's always worth saying, you know, duty of care, just to tell the lady, particularly if she is pregnant, to take extra care, because it goes without saying that when you add oil to a bath, the bathtub then becomes slippery. It sounds really obvious, I know, but I just feel it's just a nice thing to say. You know, just tell her to take extra care, because of course the bathtub will become a bit slippery when she's getting out, you know, and you've got a great big 8-month tummy on you and you're, you know, waddling around. You just need to take a little bit of extra care. So yeah, that's that one. Catherine?
Yeah, no, I'm really glad you mentioned that. I was going to say exactly the same about the slipperiness. The bath oil particularly, but all three of the products definitely get given as gifts. You know, and because it is mothers, I know we're thinking very much of mothers with little babies, but it's a mother's oil, balm and bath oil. So, you know, any mothers, they're perfect gifts and just so nice for relaxation. And this bath oil as well, you see celebrities using this, they're kind of pouring it their bath. It's one that the celebs use quite a bit as well.
Yeah, no, it is. I have spotted it in Fern Cotton's bathroom on Instagram, and Stacey Solomon and various different people. No, it is one, like I say, it's one that the press have got hold of. I've seen it featured in OK Magazine, Hello Magazine, the baby magazines, you know, so yeah, it's a lovely one, that one. We also, of course, have our 3 gift boxes. So we've got the baby collection, organic collection, which comes in that really lovely sort of hard cardboard box, for want of a better word, you know, the gift box. That's £25 and contains sort of some mini versions of the baby product. I believe it contains mini versions, actually. It's been a long time since I've ordered that for anybody, actually. Catherine, do you know what the baby collection contains?
No, not off the top of my head.
I can't either, but I've got a feeling they're slightly smaller.
Yeah, which is really handy.
And it's just such a lovely gift, you know, and it's a good price point as well at £25, and it comes in a really beautiful gift box. You know, it says baby, and from memory it's sort of lemon and mint colours, so of course completely sort of gender neutral, which is lovely as well. Then we've got the mother gift box, again, contains the mother products, really lovely idea, possibly for a baby shower or wanting to treat a new mum, and you know, because babies get such a lot, don't they, when babies are born, you know, people shower the babies with outfits and little teddies and all sorts. Sometimes it's nice to give the mum something, I always think. And that's £35, and then we've got the £45 mother and baby box, which is a larger size box, and it contains a selection of the mother and the baby products, and that is a beautiful gift. All 3 make lovely gifts. I've in the past, people have bought them from me because they're going to baby showers, new mums, as I've said. I've even sold a couple of baby boxes in the past as christening gifts, just as something a little bit different, you know, rather than the usual money boxes and things. Somebody's taken something like that. So just be aware that we do have those, and that they are absolutely beautiful. And of course, as I mentioned before, the packaging is all completely FSC certified. As I said, we work with the Woodland Trust, and our packaging is all biodegradable as well. What I'm going to do in a moment is pass over to Katherine, who is going to sort of run down a few other what we call wraparound products. Obviously, we've now covered all the baby range and all the mother's range, but obviously Katherine working with mums all the time, there are other products that she sells that we thought you guys might be interested in knowing about, as I say, wraparound products that could be very, very helpful to a new mum. But what I thought I would do just very quickly before handing over is I thought I would just kind of quickly tell you sort of what I call my mummy go-to products, very, very briefly. Won't go into too much detail about them. Obviously, having 4 children, all 12 and under, I have some products that I use all the time. Now, I've already touched on, the baby balm and the shampoo and the Be Lovely range and things, but there's just a couple of others I just thought I would briefly mention. One of them sounds a bit crazy, is I always have a room spray to hand. Now, obviously, I've got 2 babies in nappies. Well, Josh hopefully will start being potty trained after Easter, but at the moment I've got 2 in nappies. So as you can imagine, sometimes there are some rather unpleasant fragrances floating around my house, and I do actually find that having some of this by the changing station is actually really nice. And of course, our room sprays are completely organic, they're natural, there's no harmful chemicals or anything unpleasant in them, and just spritzing it around the room after changing some smelly nappies can really sort of make the room a nicer place to live in, shall we say. And I have sold a couple of these to other women in my situation that are changing smelly bottoms and things, so it's just worth saying. I also swear by the calming essential oil. We have our pre-blends. The calming one actually was designed with children in mind, and it is completely safe for children and use around babies. I won't go into too much detail, but essentially it was designed with kids in mind. As I say, it's got a really lovely blend, and it's really good at helping everybody just calm down a little bit, when everybody's all up here in the evening, just helping everybody just calm down, ready for a restful night. And I also use quite a lot of the eucalyptus radiata essential oil. The kids have always got coughs and colds and things, haven't they? Eucalyptus globulus is not considered to be safe for young children, whereas eucalyptus radiata is safe. So if Josh gets a cough or a cold, I'm quite happy to use a bit of the eucalyptus radiata in a diffuser in his room, obviously well ventilated, but that is an essential oil that we get through a lot of in this house. I know Catherine's going to talk about this, but very briefly, I've got a ton of these around my handbag, my changing bag, everywhere. I use it on Josh. If we're out in a play place and I can't wash his hands or something before he has a snack or something, a little toddler group, I always give his hands a quick spritz with this before he has his biscuit or whatever it might be. It's better than nothing. There's just so many lurgies around, and it's not just COVID, there's just so many lurgies around all the time. And this is so lovely, it doesn't dry the hands and it smells great. And just a couple of other things. I have the Defend hand wash. I really like the Defend hand wash. That is by my kitchen sink. So I use the Be Lovely in the bathroom. So I have the Defend hand wash by the kitchen sink. And I really do like that. Great price point as well. That's good for us and the older kids. The vitamin C supplements, both myself and my partner take daily, but also my 12-year-old can take those now, because our supplements are, generally speaking, always best to check, but generally speaking, suitable for 12 years and up. So Zach, my 12-year-old, has a vitamin C supplement before he goes to school every morning, and I swear by our vitamin C. As I said, our supplements are really good quality. They absorb into the bloodstream within 15 minutes, and they don't contain any fillers or binders or any muck. They're 100% active ingredients, so I like him to have one of those, maybe with a glass of juice or something, with his porridge in the morning before he goes off to school. And this won't come as a surprise because I bang on about it a lot, is the elderberry syrup, for the same reasons, full of vitamin C, antioxidant, very, very immune boosting. Sadly, currently out of stock as I film this now, but it will be coming back, and I'm a big fan. And when it is in stock, I really stock up. It's not unheard of for me to buy 10 at a time, because I absolutely swear by it. And the elderberry syrup can be given to babies over the age of 12 months. So obviously I couldn't give it to India, but I can give it to Josh, mixed maybe with a little bit of juice or just off the spoon, and it really is good for sort of boosting the immune system. So yeah, so they're kind of sort of my go-tos, I would say, my mummy saviour products. I will pass you over to Katherine now. I'm sure she's got some other ideas for you.
Thank you so much. So I'm just going to mention a few things that it might be worth thinking about in terms of nappy bags. So any parent going out and about with their little one will kind of take a bag of essentials. And I will talk about these, come back to these as we talk about more different things. But hand sanitizer, Cressy just mentioned. I mean, I sell absolutely loads of these. Again, you can reassure them that it's, you know, obviously the natural, all that organic side of it, but it's a really nice smell, and I just haven't found it drying. They always ask me, is it drying? And it's not at all. I mean, I've used it constantly through the pandemic. So hand sanitizer, also with things we've mentioned already, but just thinking of it in terms of what they might want to put in their baby bag. So baby balm, the barrier cream, also, we'll come to them again, but a remedy to roll is quite good in terms of a nappy bag thing, particularly because parents are quite stressed out at times. So a remedy to roll. So remedy to roll, hand sanitizer. I also am absolutely obsessed with a Defend hand cream, and I will talk about hand creams, but that's again a lower price point and has got all the antibacterial and defense type side of it. Whoops. Also I'm going to mention about the lavender and aloe cooling cream, which I sell with regards to first aid type stuff, so I'll come to that. So there's the nappy bag type things, and there's also products that they could have with them, particularly for new mums when they're feeding. So, you know, they spend quite a lot of time sitting, feeding, and, you know, recommending they have a nice glass of water. They might want to use one of our tea bags. So the two teas I tend to sell the most of, and I genuinely sell quite a lot of teas, is the nighttime one, but the quiet time one as well. And I always give a tea bag when I sell any Neal's Yard. It's just a nice thing for them to take away. And I kind of try and encourage them just to have a few quiet minutes when they can and catch their breath with a cup of tea. So water or tea, and then beside them they might want to have hand cream. You know, they can have those few minutes as the babies may be feeding or when they've fallen off to sleep, and can just have a little bit of hand cream so they can breathe in the smell, again catch their breath. And hand cream is just quite a nice thing that they can actually do for themselves quite easily. And again, the remedy to roll, so that's kind of you know, when they're feeding as well, so things that are quite easy and convenient, but also just help them to relax a little bit as well. The lavender and aloe cooling cream I talk about on my first aid course because it's completely natural, and it's an absolutely brilliant multi-use product. So it can be used, you know, right from birth. It can be kept in the fridge so that it's extra cooling. And the types of times that you might use this would be for superficial burn, for any heat rash, any kind of skin irritation, bites or stings. So it's a really good one for the whole family, but really safe for little ones as well. So that's the lavender and cooling cream. We've mentioned about the teas. Another one is seaweed and arnica. So arnica is amazing for bruising, so particularly after birth, but also general aches, carrying, lifting, feeding. You know, the body gets really quite a hard time, so being able to just talk about the arnica and the benefits of that. So whether it's the foaming bath, the bath salts, the arnica is really lovely. And of course we have got the arnica salve, which I have actually known parents massage into the skin as well if they are feeling particularly sore. So a bit of a natural first aid product. With new mums, they really don't have a lot of time. And to be honest, in my experience, sometimes when I sort of talk about them taking a little bit of time for themselves, they do actually look at me like I'm kind of talking Chinese, because their whole focus is on the baby. So it's just really nice to be able to kind of, it might even be they're buying it as a gift for someone else, or someone is buying them a gift, but also, you know, if possible, trying to help them have a little bit of relaxation as well. So depending on what they prefer, you've got the foaming baths, so they can choose a scent that they really love. They may even have the bath with the baby. or shower gels and oils, which can be really refreshing. And I chat to them about how they can pop the baby in a bouncer chair. The babies love the noise of the shower, and then they can actually have the chance to have a shower properly. And then they might want some nice pamper treats afterwards, so like a body cream. The women's balance range is so massively popular I find with parents. So yeah, they might want to rub in the mother's balm, an oil, body lotion, body cream. So you've got those products as well. I mentioned about hand creams. I just grabbed this set. Obviously, we've got all of our different gorgeous hand creams, and hand cream is such a lovely gift to give a mum, because they're washing their hands a lot more. I know we've all been washing our hands way more than usual in the pandemic, but they are genuinely washing their hands a lot with just trying to be clean and nappy changes and things. So a hand cream is a really big one. And if they want an extra special treat, then obviously we've got the hand serum as well. Sometimes it might be people contacting you asking what they could give as a gift as well. And always with things like hand creams, bubble baths, any of it, I always try and encourage them just to take a few deep breaths and just have that calming time as well. Hand washes, so all our amazing hand washes, that's just a really nice everyday treat that they can be using for themselves as well. We've just talked a lot about the hand washing. I have mentioned the women's balance range. I mean, this has without doubt been one of my absolute biggest sellers. The smell, people tend to absolutely love. The name, the benefits of the range, and particularly the Remedy to Roll. I literally don't leave the house without the women's balance ready to roll. I absolutely love it. So Remedy to Rolls are perfect because they can have them out and about wherever they are. You can explain how to use them, and we've got the kind of relaxation one, the women's balance, the nighttime one, all absolutely perfect. And also any of the sleep type things. So any parent will be completely obsessed with sleep. So we've got our lovely beauty sleep range. For example, the foaming bath, the body lotion, I absolutely love the shower oil, and yeah, anything to do with sleep. And of course, we've got the lovely Goodnight Pillow Mist as well, which is amazing for the parent, and then as the children get older, potentially for older children in the family as well.
Can I just interrupt, yeah. Catherine, just while you're talking about the pillow mist, just to say that actually I forgot that on my mummy go-to list, because it's a fabulous, I use it a lot with my older two kids, and I have actually been known just more recently, as Josh has sort of been, over two, spritzing it every now and again just on his duvet, just a little bit, one spritz maybe. Amazing. It is. I wouldn't use it with India, but it's really good stuff, really lovely stuff. And I do find that the kids unwind and sleep better when it is on their bedding than when it isn't. So yeah, I think
the pillow mist and the calming blend definitely. As you mentioned the calming blend earlier. May not be an obvious one, but quite a nice one for them to have by their bed is the Comfrey and Mallow foot cream. Feet can get kind of a bit forgotten and neglected, understandably. We've mentioned about hand cream, but you tend to do a lot of walking as a parent because you're kind of going out for walks and things. And we are going now into, luckily, the nice spring summer months. So, an amazing gift would be the pumice foot scrub and then the Comfrey and Mallow foot cream. So a little bit of a foot treat. And again, probably something they wouldn't think of doing for themselves. I know we've mentioned it already a bit, but the defense range, the hand wash, particularly the hand cream and the hand sanitizers are just absolutely brilliant. And parents are all over that, never more so than because of the pandemic, but they love that it is the natural range, the way that they can use that. And I just explained about the lemongrass helping prevent the growth of bacteria and yeast, the witch hazel that wards off infection. And I can't say this one properly, Nioli, the antiseptic properties that has. And as I said, I have got 3 tubes of the hand cream. Even out of choice, I just absolutely love the smell. We've mentioned the Be Lovely range tonight. And one of my absolute hero products is the All Over Balm. I absolutely love the balm. I know we've mentioned about the baby balm, the mother's balm. We know we've got our amazing Wild Rose Beauty balm, but I just love the Be Lovely balm. It's obviously a cheaper balm compared to the Wild Rose Beauty balm, but again, a one-pot wonder. Really good for hands, feet, face mask, dry skin, healing as well. And it's just a lovely smell. So that's another one for the whole family. Really love that. Wild Rose Beauty Balm as well. It can be really good if they do have any kind of little sore skin. I know we've mentioned the baby balm. And we've also touched on a few of the oils as well. So some of them mums love the Women's Balance Blend to have in a diffuser. Lavender, because that's so calming. Eucalyptus, tea tree. Geranium has been quite popular lately as well. I know that's a love-hate thing. I love geranium. Cressy's mentioned the elderberry syrup, and then any kind of treats that you think they would love. So one of them, again, a massive hero product of mine, is the frankincense hydrating essence. That's such a treat, but it's something that's quite quick for them to do as well. So anything kind of quick and easy like that. Cressy, I know you mentioned the calendula cream, and I haven't got that on my list. Was there anything you wanted to say about that?
Yeah, I tend to have this knocking around. This one's in my kitchen. Again, like I mentioned, Josh can get sore cheeks. I tend to use the baby balm on him, but actually this is quite nice as an alternative as well. It's quite cooling in a funny way, and it just sort of soaks in nicely. Soaks in quite quickly, actually, probably quicker than the baby balm does. He has got a habit of, like kids do, wiping anything I put on his face straight off again. Whereas this sort of, I can massage this into his cheeks. Yeah, I mean, it just says it's a soothing cream with a fresh organic plant extracts. It's just a nice one to have, if they've got little greys or something, it's nice to put this on. And a friend of mine swears it helps her little boy's eczema. She says she's tried a lot of different things, and this is something that she finds really helps.
So gentle.
Yeah,
definitely. We mentioned about the arnica. There is also the eucalyptus, which is kind of like an organic fix, but that you just have to be very mindful of in terms of their age. You can also dilute it with the baby balm, like combine the two together, and it can be really effective put on feet. I don't know if any of you ever do that when you have a cold, but because of reflexology, it can be really effective putting it on their feet, but definitely not for when they're really little. I could just rabbit on all night about the different products, but I'm conscious of the time flying by. But is there anything anyone wanted to add? Or I'm just going to check the chat as well. Arnica. Yeah, we've just said about the arnica. So I think anything that just encourages them to take a few minutes for themselves, anything that is quite easy and accessible. So as we said, stuff they can have in their nappy bag, stuff they could have by the bed, stuff they could have beside them while they're feeding, is all great quick wins for them. So the kind of teas, the remedies to rolls, the hand creams, and then things they're going to be using anyway, like hand washes or bath, shower, which is just going to be something really nice for them, and also help them relax as well. I mean, these are the products that I just sell all the time, because they see them, they think about them, and then they're either giving them as a gift or treating themselves.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much. I think that's really helpful. What I think I'll do is obviously this has been quite a big training session. What I think I'll do now, if everyone's happy, is I'll stop the recording, and then if anybody that's on here live would like to ask Katherine and I any questions, obviously you have the opportunity to do that without it sort of being recorded. So we will say goodbye to the recording.